ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. It is November 3rd, 2020 at about 10 minutes till 11 o'clock. Market's really starting to slow down as far as small caps go. Large caps have been absolutely doing phenomenal today. Netflix, Facebook, Apple, SPY, you name it. Small caps were very, very slow, but there were a couple good setups in pre-market on BBGI and another good setup here intraday. So I'm 3 for 3 on BBGI today. I took a loss on Facebook and I also took a loss on APVO. So big picture, 5 trades, 3 green, 2 red. I'll take that all day, every day. And the great thing too is those losses, the 2 ones, were very, very small. So we're looking at $120, give or take, in losses. And then BBGI right now up $866.47, putting me to a total profit and loss on the day of $740.28. I do currently have 625 shares left on BBGI with a hard stop in the system at 185 for those 625 shares. And I'm looking to see if we can get the re-break over VWAP and $2 for a possible push back up to $2.30. So let's go ahead and take the next 5 to 10 minutes and dive into all my 2 pre-market trades. We'll also talk about my intraday trade and briefly talk about APVO and Facebook as well. So starting off, BBGI. My first trade was this morning at approximately 7:57. So 7:57 right here. All right, right here. Now, why did I take this trade? Well, at that point in time, we didn't have an established trend line, right? We only had here and here. So we could have said, you know what? Let's go ahead and put this on an uptrend. Let's go ahead and extend it to the right. And let's see if it's going to be validated. But right now, it's only the second point, so we can't utilize it. Only for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, so on and so forth, right? So we've established that there could be a possible trend line, and that would be moving forward, you know, if we have another trade that sets up off that uptrend. But what I notice is we have support right around that 196, right? We have some resistance here. We have a little bit of resistance here. We came down and we bounced briefly off that 196. So I noticed this stock right here. Right there is when I notice it. So I noticed that, okay, possible double bottom, right, off that previous high resistance. And I also noticed we have a little bit of a downtrend as well. So I'm like, beautiful. I love trading the breaks of the downtrend. I love reversals with double bottoms, maybe a double bottom with a higher low. This was a go-to setup. I really like this a lot. So we saw it come down, put in a double bottom, starting to slowly push back over 2. I actually got filled at 203. Looks like I bought even more around 201. So I had a total of 3,700 shares. Then I started scaling out in the 214s, 219s, and the 218s. So that was my entry there. Looking for the break of the downtrend off the double bottom as well. And then as you can see, we got a nice big push right into those previous highs. That's why I started taking profit again around that 218, 219, was we were right in that area of resistance. So I took profit. I was out of the trade and I did miss out on a little bit, right? I did miss out on another 10 cents or so. However, it was still a great trade, still capitalizing on almost 15 to 20 cents, almost 10%. Not bad at all. That put me up about $300 to $400 on the day. I was feeling really good. I was very happy with that. And now I was waiting for the next best setup, right? So I know that the stock push pulls back to the previous high. Nice push. So immediately I went ahead and marked up that previous high at $2.14. I'm waiting for the stock to pull back and reset back up for me. So my next trade took place at 8:15:11. I bought 1,250 shares at $2.23. And that trade took place at 8:15. So moving on, moving on, moving on. We see it's sitting here kind of consolidating, right? It's pushing, came down, bounced, starting to build little higher lows. Nothing crazy, slowly building some higher lows. And I noticed the same thing. We got a little bit of this downtrend, right? A little bit of a downtrend, a little bit of a flag setup. It's definitely consolidating. It's definitely squeezing. Very close to this uptrend, right? Right around that 214. Very close to the uptrend as well with the downtrend, the consolidation, a little bit of a flag. pulling back, retesting the previous highest support. I mean, you name it. What a great setup. What a great setup. So what I do, I took the trade again. Where were my stops? Right underneath those lows. So we noticed that 215 were the lows. I was going to put my stops at like 212, 213 because we did not want to lose that level. We wanted to immediately push and retest those highs. So again, 815 was my entry right there. $2.23. So I got in right around the downtrend area, 223 at 1,250 shares. And it looks like I bought even more. So I had a total of 2,500 shares at $2.19. And I was selling at 230 and 227. So I was selling up again into the highs. Why not hold it? Well, because anytime I'm buying off support, I'm going to sell or at least take profit when we retest the previous highs. So that's why I was taking profit here. Same thing, pulled back, retested support. We had the downtrend, we had the uptrend. The highs were at 228 to 230. Definitely where I'm going to start locking it in, right? And what did I do? Locked it in, came down, stopped me out on the rest. I was able to make another couple $100. So there in pre-market alone, I was up $500-600 off 2 trades on BBGI. And then I just really sat back and waited. I didn't really see any other setup that I liked. Really started turning south, giving a lot of its gains back, especially at the open. It was very, very choppy and started to fade. But we noticed that we were starting to get a little bit of reversal on BBGI, right? I noticed we have this big downtrend. And we're starting to slowly try and, build back up, right? Big sell-offs, little pushes, little sell-off, little push. And so I tell the team, I'm like, let's wait for the break of this downtrend. Let's wait to get a higher low and signal that we have a reversal possibly coming on up. And let's go ahead and take that long for a push back into the 189 to 196. So what did we do? We waited. We started to see the break of the downtrend. Stock starts to push. Pulls back into the 177, 180 area, and that's when I got filled. As you guys can see here, I got filled at 179. I had a total of 2,500 shares, and I've slowly been scaling out of this position, 625 at a time when we get to these overhead targets. So 188 to 189 was my first target to take some profit right off those lows. Brought my stops underneath the previous low, right around break even. And once again, got another little push up into VWAP. What'd I do? Took profit. What am I doing? Bringing my stops up. Right now, my stop in the system is at 185 at a 179 entry. So I'm in the trade green. I'm not going to lose on this trade. Take profit, bring those stops up, and continue to do that if the stock is going to continue its trend to the upside. So that's all I've been doing. I got my nice long position, took profit, brought my stops up, hit another target area, bringing my stops up, once again, the 185. As we can see, we currently have a slow and steady uptrend. It's building higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So where am I putting my stops? Underneath the previous low. So right now, that's why I have a stop at 185. If we hold this higher low and we put in a higher high, so if we do something like this, right, we got our higher high. If we put in a higher low and we do something like that, I will then bring my stops up to around 189, and I will continue to do that until I get stopped out. If the stock wants to be a beast today and rip and run and go to 220, 250, $3, I'll still scale this trade properly and capitalize on every single price movement. So right there were my 3 trades over on BBGI. Again, 3 for 3, currently still in at 625. 625 shares at 197, currently up $75. But total on the day on BBGI, $866.47. What a great start to the month. Yesterday was a great day. Today's a great day. Feeling really good about November. So let's go ahead and talk about Facebook. I actually stopped out prematurely, and the stock actually went in my favor. We called this out in chat that we had a possible little ascending triangle setting up right around here. We can see that we had these slow, little higher lows, right? Let me go ahead and remove that draw. I'm trying to remove them. So we noticed that we had a little bit of an ascending triangle, right? We pulled back, starting to build these higher lows with a flat top resistance. What is that? It's definitely, a little bit of ascending triangle. Some would say it's just a typical breakout over resistance. I saw a little bit of an ascending triangle, right? So what did I do? I waited to make sure we were going to continue to build these higher lows. I got in right here. 500 shares on Facebook. Got in right there. My stops were 50 cents, and I actually got stopped out before the move. So I actually had too tight of stops. So I was getting in right here around that 262.98. I said, you know what? I'm not going to risk more than 50 cents. The stock started to look a little weak. I stopped out. It would have stopped me out at a $250 loss. I actually cut it ahead of time because we had a member call out DGLY that was actually moving on up. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and cut this because I'm really not digging it anyway. I'm glad I did because I would have been stopped out right here on this candle at $250 loss. I was able to only take a $107 loss just to watch it move to the upside, right? So I limited my loss, I cut the trade, but it actually worked in our favor. We had that nice little ascending triangle, flat top resistance, got the break, got a big, strong move to the upside. And Facebook's been just an absolute beast from that point in time. From, again, 263, right now trading around 270, almost 6 points from our first entry. Again, doesn't matter because, you know, I stopped out. I would have been stopped out regardless, but it was just really nice to see this actually play out in our favor and get that nice break, get that nice push, and slowly build these higher highs and higher lows and continue the trend over on Facebook. I also took a trade on APVO. That one got me for a whole $12. Now, why did I take the trade on APVO? Well, the first thing I did this morning when I saw the stock moving up in pre-market is I jumped into the daily chart, tried to identify solid areas of support. And I noticed that we had $7.30 support from the daily. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4, 5, 6. There were multiple times, many times that the price came down to 730 and actually held above. So one of those things that I already had marked up was 730, was looking at it out of the gate, trying to see if we got a quick big washout right into the 730 for an entry for that big push. Never happened, but it slowly crept on down. And we got right here off 734. We started to get that little bit of a push. This candle right here concerned me. We started to see a couple of green candles. I was expecting to get that 20-cent push, 15-cent push right then and there. Wasn't really liking the price action. Wasn't really liking the volume that was coming in. Wasn't too confident. I went ahead and cut it. Took a $12.44 loss. But it actually did bounce off 730. We actually came down on that candle where I cut it, held 730, and actually got that 30-cent push. And that's what I was looking for. Again, I just cut it too soon. I wasn't really digging the price action, the volume. I made the right decision at that point in time because I could have easily been, you know, caught up in a dump from 730 down to $7. It is a lower float stock. It definitely could have dumped easily 10, 20, 30 cents, and I wasn't willing to put myself in a position to lose $300-400. I didn't get the bounce I wanted at that point in time. I wasn't really liking the price action. I wasn't liking the volume. I went ahead and cut it. Despite the stock actually moving in my favor 30 cents, at that point in time, I feel like I did the right thing. I limited my loss. I managed my risk. I cut it, walked away, and it's all good. So even though I had a couple trades that were good trades, AVPO and Facebook, even though they were good trades and they all worked out in my favor, in that point in time, again, the price action, the volume, things really weren't seeming like they were going to go in my favor. So what I do, I cut them. I take my small loss, right? Take the small losses, take the small paper cuts. But the trades that I really like and the trades that are working well, I'm able to lock in $891 on BBGI, taking me up to $771 on the day. Absolutely crushing it this month, crushing it last month. The market has been extremely generous, and I cannot wait to see what the end of the year has in store. I'm going for my biggest month yet. I would like to definitely hit over $30,000 in profit, guys, so stay tuned. I'll be posting all of my daily recaps. Follow along and watch as we grow and try to get to that $30,000 goal. If it doesn't happen in November, doesn't happen in December, I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to overtrade and try to get there. If I get there, I get there. If I don't, I don't. But one of these months, in the next 6 months, I definitely want to hit that $30,000 mark. Would be the biggest month I would have yet. So like I said, guys, subscribe to the channel. Definitely follow along if you'd like. I hope you guys enjoy the recaps. Again, 3 for 5 on the day, 3 winners, 2 losers. Currently up $771 on the day. Worst case scenario, I get stopped out of BBGI and I walk away at $650 on the day, I'll still take it. I'll definitely take 650 bucks consistently every single day. That's 10 grand a month. That's $120,000 a year. That is my minimum goal. I've been very fortunate and very blessed to be able to exceed my goals over the past few months and hit $20,000, $25,000 months. So I'm very, very happy with the way the market's been, reacting. And I cannot wait to see what the end of the year has in store. So again, November 3rd, 2020, my Tuesday recap, BBGI, Facebook, and APVO. Other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Happy and safe trading.